Hey everybody, the captain here. I got a video request from a guy that responded to the video, just don't fuck up. And, excuse me. And it was actually, it was a good video request, and that's like, okay, what if you did fuck up? And this is, I guess, kind of a common criticism of a lot of my advice, where it's like, well, unless you're 20 years old and no kids that didn't fuck up, it's not, any of his advice is not worth anything. And I guess you are right, because it does predispose, or my advice presumes you didn't fuck up. So, and the only reason this is off on an angle is because I'm filming on a laptop bag, so I'm sorry you're all going like this. But in any case, it is a good idea to put together something like what to do if you did fuck up. So here's, because I have fucked up, I've learned, and I've majorly fucked up, but I've learned things from it, so it's up to you. And there is still hope. I mean, if you've so fucked up your life that it's beyond repair, there is no hope. So I guess that is the first lesson. Realize if you really did fuck yourself up that much and there is no hope, there is no hope. And don't, I get a lot of, mentioned it before, a lot of people who are in their lower 60s, late 50s, and they want to know how they can start saving for retirement. It's like, too late. I can't help you. It's like, you smoke cigarettes all the time and you get lung cancer. It's too late. I can't help you. All right? But that's not the majority of instances. Usually it's more sociological, romantic, financial, so let's talk about things. First, admit you've lost and that whatever you did was a sunk cost. And for example, if you went and you majored in a stupid degree, all right? A lot of people like to paint it, well, at least you learned that lesson not to major in something stupid. I know it cost you 60 grand and 4 years of use, but I don't believe that. What I am saying though is admit that it's over, that you fucked up, it was a mistake, and let go of the cost. You can't go back and get it. And this is probably one of the best things you can learn about grieving, or maybe it was alcoholism or something, I don't remember what. And that is knowing what you do control, what you do not control. You do not control yourself back in the past. So just accept it's over, or you made your mistake, you have to live with the consequences, and stop beating yourself up over it. Accept and acknowledge or capitalize on what is under your control, all right? Second thing, accept why it happened, and that is that you fucked up. This is the biggest thing, or the biggest hurdle for a lot of, I think, Americans and Westerners and spoiled people in general. Not to say everyone who's a Westerner or American is spoiled. But a lot of people, that ego, man, it gets in your way, because your ego cannot abide by the fact you screwed up. I don't know, you married the wrong guy for money. You had kids you couldn't afford. And you majored in something stupid. People always go and defend their actions in the past because they can't accept that they screwed up in the past. Their ego just won't abide by it. They will never accept the fact that, not that they're stupid, but they made a mistake, that they fucked up. Don't do that, because if you don't do that, you never allow yourself to learn from your mistakes. And if you don't acknowledge where you're wrong, you're just going to keep making, maybe not the same mistake over and over again, which you could, example, getting a master's in a worthless degree, because, well, I just need to do the same thing, but faster and stronger with a lot more money and a lot more of my youth, okay. But that won't solve the problem. So you got to admit that you're wrong, have a really good come to Jesus meeting, say, why was I wrong, where did I screw up, and then change yourself going forward. Another thing that will help, this won't really solve the problem, because the problem's already over, it's done, there's only recovery. That is, realize you're not alone. And especially for the younger people, they think like, oh my God, my life is over, I fucked up. No, you haven't talked to a lot of people. And a lot of people aren't going to tell you their big problems or their major problems because they want to keep it private. They got shame, they got guilt, or they just don't think, you guys really care to hear about all their problems. Everybody looks better. The grass is always greener on the other side with everybody. You see that guy with the BMW or the Mercedes. You think there's a guy who's got a lot of money, he's got no problem. No, I see a guy who's like up to debt in his eyeballs, really doesn't own that car. His wife is on the verge of divorcing him, and his kids hate him. And that's not just me being cynical, that's me looking at financial statements and knowing for a fact it's most likely true. So I don't want to say misery loves company, but you're not alone. And don't think that, oh my God, I'm this loser of society. When you made a mistake, innocent or not, most other people are fucked up and are not as far as everybody thinks they are. Trust me, I've seen people's finances, and not to focus solely on finances, but it's true. Finally, no matter how bad you think it is, and trust you me, ladies and gentlemen, I've been down there. The worst that was ever in my life was really bad, and I thought nothing. And ironically, me giving up, saying, fuck it, I'm done. Not like suicide. I'm saying like, fuck this bullshit. I'm gonna do what I want. I did everything right. Now fuck it, I'm gonna go get drunk. I'm gonna hit on chicks like I've never did before. I mean, just being very blunt and direct. Doing things completely differently. Despite me thinking my life was over, it all of a sudden got insanely better. And better than what it was on a trajectory to be before all this bad shit happened to me. Like 4 years of bad shit. And that's, I don't want to say you can never tell with life. But I can tell you this, no matter how bad you think it is, no matter how much you think you've lost, no matter how bad it is, that was in the past. All right, you can file for bankruptcy, you can get your divorce, you can move on if your children don't talk to you. Whatever the problem is, it may suck right now. It may be debilitating. I remember just having to get up to take a shower. I remember, just like it was drudgery, it was pain. It was just like, fuck, why? And then all of a sudden, it changes you in ways you don't know. Also, you start making decisions and acting a certain way that gets you a lot. It makes you successful unintentionally or unconsciously where you never thought you'd be successful in. So no matter how bad it is, realize you still have a future. Like most people, I guess I'm talking to, are in their 20s, 30s, maybe 40s. You're not dead. And the remaining 3, 4, or 5 decades of your life, that's 3, 4, or 5 decades. That's a lot of time. And you're not going to make the same mistakes you made in the past, assuming you acknowledge they were mistakes and that you were wrong. And you have no clue. I don't mean to make it sound like, well, you got cancer, but you never know. We might find a cure, and that's why you should have hope. No, I'm saying life will go really bad, but it'll also unintentionally go really good, and you have no idea when that happens. So it's easier for me to say this, but going through it all, you may be down, you may be debilitated, you may have no hope. But it's not the fall come out tomorrow. It's just things will get better, and sometimes way beyond your wildest dreams. You just don't know, and don't give up on that. I mean, stick around for the good stuff, because I was never suicidal. Everyone thinks, I wonder what it's like to commit suicide from a philosophical standpoint. Not like, I was thinking about it, like I had the knife or the gun, but things were really bad. But where was I going with this? Let's say I did, and I would have missed out on the best stuff in my life. Seriously. So don't do that. Just because your past was bullshit. Keep in mind how many people lied to you in your past, manipulated you, and took advantage of you and used you. I mean, again, not to constantly harp the same themes, but school, education, K through college, that's 5 to 22, 17 years of bullshit and lies. And that's going to take you, and telling you lies to do certain things. Which are primarily mistakes. And then how do you come back from that deficit? Well, don't blame yourself necessarily. Admit, I was stupid and swallowed the bullshit. Now I'm going to become a little bit more independent-minded. Don't take yourself out. I mean, don't, realize the deficit you are operating from, and then how far you can make it. And then finally, just a little, Roosh wrote this, and I think it was on rooshv.com, or maybe it was Return of Kings, I don't know, but it was about you never know. And it was a story of this boy, this father. Father had a son. It's in the olden days where you needed your son so that they could tend to the animals in the retirement. Son broke his arm, and everyone was in the village was like, we're terribly sorry, because it almost meant death for the father. He says, we'll see. And sure enough, a year or two, it's a fable, it's a story. A year or two later, the country went to, that week or whatever, when the boy's arm was broken, the country went to war, and the boys that were rounded up in that village that were in that division or whatever ended up getting killed, but the boy was not allowed to join because of his broken arm. And see, so whatever seems bad, and trust you me, I owe a lot of my success to my enemies. If it wasn't for them, I would not be here. When bad things happen, it could be the best thing that happens to you. Just stick around and fight it towards the end. So anyway, hope that helps. I can't wave a magic wand, make things better, but if you stick around, you fight it through, stick it out to the end, There will be better times, and you never know, things may go incredibly well for you. Toodles.